Welcome to the Stuff and Things Podcast. Your home for all stuff related to your favorite things in entertainment. Now, here are your hosts.
Hello everybody and welcome to the new Stuff and Things podcast, Walking Dead Wednesday. We are back talking all things zombies. I am Sam. Joining me to discuss the only show in the world with The Walking Dead that don't actually call them zombies, it's my partner in crime, it's Stefan.
Hello!
Hey buddy, welcome back to the Walking Dead Wednesday.
Yeah,
it has been a little bit of a while, especially with us back doing episodically anyway, because the last Walking Dead content we did, we basically hammered through the whole of Fear the Walking Dead 7-part, was it 7? Yeah, 7-part A, and we did the World Beyond season 2. Thank goodness that's over.
Oh, of course, yeah. I just realised, the Fear of the Walking Dead was only part A, part B still to come, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Which I think, based on dates, is literally going to follow straight on from 11B. And then when that finishes, we've got 11C, because that's due to wrap out the end of this year. So, yeah, kind of crazy. It's all kind of crazy. But we are talking today is season 11. Episode B, and it's episode 9, so it's split into 3 parts, so it's not a mid now, it's like a third season premiere.
They've done it really cleverly, because I'm
middle
pretty sure
third premiere.
AMC were like, you're only going to get one more season, and they went, that's fine. This season was actually going to span over 2 years originally. Funny that.
Yeah, and then they time jumped as well, but we'll come on to that.
Yes.
So, the title of the episode, sir?
No Other Way.
Do you know what? I generally thought you were going to go, no idea.
Yeah. Back to Walking Dead how it should be. What's the episode?
Mate, I don't know. I do just want to say as well, a big thank you to everybody who listens. We always get some great feedback. The Walking Dead was where we started this podcast, and expanded from that to talk about all sorts of other things. So it's kind of nice, a bit like a homecoming when we've got Walking Dead to talk about again. Yes. And it's also, I think it was also quite nice, and talking in general terms before we dive into any details, it's quite nice to have some good quality Walking Dead stuff to talk about, in my opinion.
What, this episode?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Did you not enjoy it?
No, I loved it. I just wanted to be an arse.
Well, no, but that always makes for some good podcasting when one of us goes, oh, I love this scene, and the other one goes, really? Weirdo.
No, I thought it was really good. I mean, there's one bit we shall talk about, which cracked me up.
Are we talking about the rope?
The magic rope trip, yep.
Yeah.
And then we've got another part in this episode that made you laugh for all different reasons.
Yeah, it did, yeah.
Yeah. We've got a lot to talk about, which is actually really nice.
So I watched the episode first, and I messaged you, and I basically said there's 3 things. There was 3 moments. One, the moment that made me go, oh wow, in kind of shock. Mm-hmm. One moment, do you know what, there's 2 though, but they're the one in particular was like, oh wow, really shocked me. Second one was I went, yay! And I sort of said to you, see if you can guess. By the way, would you have guessed that was the scene? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Good, proud of you.
As soon as the door opened, I'm like, oh, here we go. Now I know.
I know why you were so happy. And then the third one was, there was basically a kind of like, what? Reaction. So let's march into this episode then, and we're going to try and break it down in kind of story sections. There's stuff going on at Alexandria, and obviously there's the big fight going on, which is where we left things off. If you don't mind, let's do Alexandria first.
Of course, yeah.
Then we'll go to the big fight and everything that was going on with Maggie, Negan, and then we'll come back to Alexandria to finish.
Okay, that sounds good. Is
that cool? Yeah. So let's start with the events of Alexandria that kind of going on. When we left the episode 8. Big storm happening. Judith and Gracie basically got trapped down in the basement. Floodwaters coming in, and walkers piling in through the door as well. Not a good situation to be in. The 2 girls. There's quite a contrast between these 2 kids as well, which I thought they really showed.
Judith is like ultimate child of the apocalypse badass, and Gracie is like, I've got my whistle.
Yeah,
I have a whistle. It's fine.
I find it kind of interesting that these two kids. You've got Judith walking around with her father's hat and Carl's hat. What do you reckon? Rick's hat or Carl? I mean, I feel like it's more like Carl's hat now, to me. But she's walking around with the hat.
She's got Rick's hand cannon.
And her own.
Well, Michonne's.
Yeah, her own katana, basically. So that's Judith. Judith's attire, just wandering around, is fully armed. And poor little Grace is there with a whistle. I mean, I got to question Aaron's parenting here. In the apocalypse, I get trying to protect your kids from the realities of the world, but come on, dude, zombie apocalypse. That kid needs to be armed. I think he's gone too far. Yeah. If you're walking around with a mace instead of a hand, then your kid needs something. I'm not saying lock the kid's hand off and replace it with an axe or something.
And now you're like, Daddy, yay!
Yay! But
now tie your shoelaces. Oh, come on.
Come on now. Something needs to be done there. Someone needs to step in and go, dude, the kid needs more than a whistle.
Do you reckon Aaron only ever wears slip-ons? Like, he can't do his laces up, can he?
No, that's a very valid. Maybe the kid does it for him now. Maybe
I want to wear a shirt today. Who will button it for me?
Yeah. Maybe he has different attachments though. This one's my battle hand. This one's my shirt doing hand. This one's my eating hand. This one's my middle finger.
I love that. Yeah, just one metal hand. Like, yep, to all of you. Yep.
Gracie, fetch my get lost hand. Okay, Dad. God, we went down a tangent then, didn't we? So,
yeah, sorry,
just a little bit. So basically, they're there, and Aaron gets him by hearing the whistle. He hears the whistle, and he races there, and he gets there, and he dives himself in, and he gets the girls out, which was great, all brilliant stuff. And then the thing that I quite enjoyed about that is often in these shows, you get these kind of like absolute heroic act of, I've saved the child, I've done this, now I'm slaughtering all the zombies, I'm amazing. And he did have this kind of moment of, oh crap! which I feel is
breaks. They all fall down the stairs, and he's like,
which I feel is like a perfect representation of actual real life. It's just like, I've done this, and then you suddenly go, oh no, now what do I do? Oh crap! And so he sees that pipe, and he tries to kind of like crawl across that pipe. Now I was watching this, and I was like, I can't work out what he's obviously thinking. I'm out of their reach. I can then get to the window and get out.
Yeah.
And then when the pipe breaks and he's basically just hanging there, I'm guessing his thought is, if I hang here long enough, someone's going to come. You know?
Surely. Like, I've just let two people out. Someone's got to say I'm in here.
Yeah. So you're kind of just literally hanging on for dear life. In the other part of the house, they've then realised, by the way, just like Guardians of the Year, this lot. Oh yeah, by the way, Grace and Judith aren't here. Well done, bunch of adults. Well, looking after the kids.
Yeah, this is like Home Alone level of like, we've flown to Paris. Oh, we forgot the kid. You know, they're all up there. Surely there's a head count up the stairs or something.
Hey, Home Alone, but in the zombie apocalypse. Mate.
That'd be a great movie. Copyrighted
Stuff and Things podcast. You take the actress that plays Judith, right? Yep. She's in one of these big houses, and she's on her own, and then the zombie apocalypse breaks out, and she's setting up the house like, yeah, we've worked out. That's terrifying. Actually, I think I've just worried myself. But yeah, anyway, copyrighted Disney, back off. So because we know what you're like. But yeah, so we have that, and then Lydia, I think it is, who kind of gets out, and she goes and spots him, and then here we have this kind of moment, which me and you were like, what? So Lydia spots him, and she goes, I'll be right back, and I'm thinking, oh, who's she going to go and get? You know, what's going to happen?
I'm thinking she's going to go get Jerry, because he's the big guy, can lean in, grab him, and hoik him out.
Yeah, makes sense. Or perhaps she's thinking, maybe there's a bow, and I can shoot the walker so he can drop back down, or I've got all these scenarios in my mind, but then the very next scene is just a rope and him climbing out, and I'm like, okay, I missed something. Now what I love is the
fact that somewhere on the cutting room floor
there is
this epic scene of Aaron with one hand and a mace hand trying to catch a bit of rope and tie it to something. And obviously, it keeps slipping because of the mace. And it's just this fantastic 2-minute scene of the struggle of Aaron trying to tie this rope up and the zombies trying to get him, and then Lydia kind of being able to pull the rope tight around saying tight up, and then him shimmying away across, and zombies trying to... It's an amazing couple of minutes of film.
I know.
And they just cut it out and went, here's a rope.
Yeah, we've hit our time limit on AMC. We need to cut something.
But yeah, it really feels like that's kind of the missing scene there.
Well, it's funny because we both said it as well, which is because you messaged me about that when you were watching it, and I think you basically said, "Oh, there's that one scene which is weird, and it's the rope," and I went, "Oh, it looks like the scene's been cut," and we literally typed it at the same time to each other on WhatsApp. Yep. It was like, yeah, so. It's funny, you do spot things like that every now and again, and you do wonder, or at least I wonder, if there is literally a scene that's been cut, or they've just made the decision that, you don't need to see how the pie's made, you just need to see, here's all the ingredients, here's the pie. But
it just made me laugh so much. It's like, wait there! Crawling out of a window. What?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. What? Do you think it was possibly because it was scene to scene, it felt like that? Because I wonder, because me and you watch this on Disney Plus now, there's no adverts.
True.
And I did wonder,
been an advert break.
Yeah, would that have had I did think to myself earlier on, if you had like, I'll be right back, and went to like ad break, and then you come back and is there... I mean, I think me and you could still go, What? That happened in the ad break? What, we don't get to see? This isn't like a...
Yeah, but like there's so much in this episode that's happening. Yeah. If they had have left it as the I'll be right back, gone to something else...
And then come back.
And then come back to it, would have just turned around and gone,
a bit weird. Yeah. But okay. Everything sort of happening at the same time. You don't get to see every aspect of it.
Yeah.
It feels like you're watching it in real time. It's about pacing, isn't it? Because you can do those things with like this breakneck pace, and everything feels like it's happening at the same time. And you're flicking between it, and all of that stuff just gets slid because you're like, "Oh wow, this is awesome!" I'm like, you're in the action. Yeah. But with this, it was fun. It was nothing wrong with it, by the way. I'm not being overcritical. It kind of felt like, wait a minute.
This is seen somewhere, yeah.
When did Lydia become proficient in the sailor double triple knot? It's like that she absolutely managed to do that so perfectly. But yeah, Aaron gets out. Did you, because we talk a little bit about plot armor and stuff with characters over the years. I think, and I don't know if you feel the same way, but with this being the final season, I don't feel like there's a lot of plot armor anymore. So I am actually feeling a little bit more like, oh no.
There are certain characters who... So there's still like what I classify as the A-listers.
Yeah.
So that would be Daryl.
Well, yeah. Well, we know Daryl and Carol.
Daryl and Carol are off doing their own thing. Yeah. And then there's what we used to classify as the A-listers. So it used to be Daryl, Carol, Michonne, Maggie, Rick. At one point we thought Carl, but
Yeah. Look,
mind blown.
He turned 18 and could demand a proper wage, so that...
I want to be paid. You're dead.
Yeah.
But now, like you say, in the final season, really, the only people I know are going to be safe are Daryl and Carol.
They are the only ones.
All of a sudden, everyone else has gone from, you're probably safe, to... They could just cull the cast out very quickly.
Well, and that's it. And because I'm watching this and I'm thinking, well, this is kind of like the premiere to kick off. If you wanted to kick this off and really set a tone of this show, no one is safe. Aaron dying here could be like horrific.
He's been around for a long time.
Yeah, and it's like, I did have that moment. I was like, oh, he could be in trouble. I genuinely could be in trouble.
The bit that made me put the thought of Aaron being in trouble in my head.
Yeah.
This is me being all theatrical and stuff.
Yeah.
Aaron was obviously the person who brought them to Alexandria.
Yeah, he was, yeah.
And we are literally watching Alexandria burn and fall apart.
We are, yeah.
And I was like, oh my god, we introduced Aaron with Alexandria, and now it's all falling apart. He's going to leave with Alexandria as well. And I'm
well, you took it. You could tell you did some actual cinematic schooling there. That's some real stuff.
It hasn't helped me at all in life, but yes.
Mate, now you're doing this podcast, you are bringing it forward. Do you know what? There was a term, intercontextuality.
Yep.
And that means when you take like one bit of fiction and apply it to another. Am I right? Am I right with that?
I think so.
Yeah, good. And it's like, so basically, if you're talking about The Walking Dead and then you make like a Star Wars analogy, that's kind of, okay. Because I saw the other day about, obviously this show is coming to an end, and there's all these rumours about Andrew Lincoln, potentially Rick Grimes, appearing at the very end of season 11.
Yes.
And that, in essence, will create the narrative for the films and stuff that we're going to see. And I don't know about you, I'm not sure that would be a good... Don't get me wrong, I'd love to see Rick Grimes again. With Judith, with Michonne, whoever. I'd love to see Rick Grimes again. So let me just throw that out there for everybody. But if the films are set in the time jump, if we see Rick Grimes show up at the end of season 11 of The Walking Dead, that means we know that Rick Grimes survives whatever happens in the films.
And it kind of takes away the risk.
Whereas in the comics, Rick is killed. So the films could well be the end of the Rick Grimes story, if you see what I mean, and you will have that feeling when watching it. Whereas if he shows up at the end of season 11, much like with Daryl and Carol's spin-off, you're like, well, you're fine. There is no jeopardy. This guy's got a gun to your head. Doesn't matter. We know you're fine.
Yeah.
So I'm kind of in two minds about that. But what I did see was... the reason why these rumours exist is because he's on set at the moment. He went to visit Norman Reedus, and the two of them were seen out at a restaurant together in Atlanta. But also showed up was the young actor Chandler Riggs, who of course played Carl. And the reason why I'm making this joke is a few people have gone, oh, imagine if, Carl appeared in like the final as like a kind of Rick seeing his past and seeing all these people from his past. You could get Shane to pop up, Herschel, and I was like, probably not Herschel. But like all these different things, and then I said it jokingly on the forum, it's about time they introduced Force Ghosts to The Walking Dead. It did not go down well, people. No one saw the funny side at all of what I was trying to say in that moment, but never mind.
Brilliant.
Yeah, hey Dad, use the Force, Rick. Nope. Anyway, back to it. So Alexandria is getting absolutely battered by this storm. I liked that aspect to it. I felt like it added a real, the fire with the mill and Aaron explaining, look, if that mill comes down, we can patch all these walls all we want. But if the mill comes, that's a chunk of this. We're never fixing that, That, we need to put that fire out. So I felt like that added to like a pace to all of the scenes there, which you don't always get. Like the show's kind of lacked a little bit in the last few seasons. But yeah, I really enjoyed that aspect to it. I liked the like I said, I liked the pacing. I liked the kind of there was little bits of humour in it. Whether it's kind of laugh out loud humour or just kind of like Jerry's kind of reaction to, you want me to go and do what? Carol and that like basically being bossed around. We'll go do this. We'll sort this. We'll patch the walls. So I liked the scenes that happened back at Alexandria. Can you think of any other like little bits in that opening sections and things that you wanted to pick quickly,
out? The whole Connie thing.
Okay.
So Connie
is
back.
Yeah.
And trust me, there are not many more people happier than I am that Connie is back.
Yeah.
But then they're like, oh, we need someone to go patch up the breaches. And she's like, okay, I'll go. And then the person that we all know left her for dead is like, oh, I'll go as well. Okay.
Yeah.
Now, I feel like this is a whole storyline that needs to be explained.
Well,
does Connie not realise? Does Connie think something happened and they just got separated? Or because nothing's been discussed about it yet.
No.
We all know that what actually happened was she left her for dead.
Yeah.
And saved herself and got out.
It's funny though, because my recollection of that is that she basically just went and didn't, but she was so focused on like killing what's-her-name, Alpha, she didn't care. She was just like one-track minded.
Yeah.
But like other people's recollection, I don't know whether it's just a collective, don't want it to think that about Carol, I don't know, but it's like people are like, no, that never happened. Maybe we need to watch it again. Maybe it's me and you, but I remember it very clearly as like, she's dead, whatever, move on. I think, and I said to you in the message when you pointed this out, I do think it's a case of she possibly wouldn't be aware. She possibly would just think cave in, all the drama, these people got out and then I got out and I was on my own. You see what I mean? Like, you wouldn't necessarily think that the person turned around and went, yeah, whatever, they're dead.
Yeah, that's what I mean. If she thinks they've been separated or something and then, Oh, you survived as well. Amazing. How did you get back?
Yeah.
Well, I left the zombies to eat you.
Yeah. You know, I got out because they were going to turn around and eat you. You thumbs up for surviving.
Yeah.
It is a weird thing. Like when she got reintroduced in 11A, with that crazy ass creepy episode in that house. We did kind of look at it from the point of view of like, is she gonna have words? But of course then the group found her and they'd been looking for her, and I'm pretty sure Carol was part of that group, so I mean to her point of view it might be like, oh, she's been looking for me this whole time.
True.
She didn't. No. She was
just got lucky on that day that they went to find Kelly, who came to find you.
Yeah, she pretty much was like, she's dead, move on everyone. She is walker food. So it is an interesting thing. It'd be nice to think that maybe it'd come up in conversation, but I don't think it will. I think they're just going to move on. I think the writers have just left that. They got enough going on.
It's like Maggie and Maffy. It happened for one scene and then never talk of it again.
Well, Mafia Maggie, I think, re-emerges in this show.
Oh yeah.
So we if we go back to the fight then that's going on against the Reapers,
the firework gun is possibly one of the coolest things I have seen on The Walking Dead.
Yeah, so let's open with just talking about that. When this season broke for its first third finale, we and you both went, that's genius and so inventive and so cool and so gross and so fun. And the guy was like, he was a military engineer, so he just like, yeah, I've put this together. And it
Find the ammunition. We haven't got any. We've only got fireworks. I'll make it work.
I will make it work. Yeah, exactly. Like I mean, military engineers are insane. These people are great. I've got a friend who's in the Royal Engineers, and his stories to me of what they do when they arrive places. What the first thing they ever do is build a bar. Do you know that?
Legends.
They literally arrive anywhere, no matter what the world, no matter what the situation is, and they will arrive and build a bar before they do anything else. Just, I mean, I love that. There's nothing more British than that, I think. It's like, oh, right, you put the tea on, I'll build the bar, then we'll have a proper drink, then we'll crack on with this airport, shall we?
Yeah.
You know, it's okay. So anyway, he builds this weapon, and we get to now see it, don't we? We get to see what actually happens. The arrows hit a walker, the firework then explodes, and the walker explodes. And not just walkers, by the way. We see Maggie fight one of the Reapers and basically kicks him out into the firing line. He gets hit, and she's like, oh, shit, and runs. And
I love that as well, because you see on her face, she's like, ha! Oh.
Yeah. Like, you've been hit, and oh my god, I need to go.
Yeah, because he's going to get messy quick. Yeah,
and it did. It really did. But the guy as well wasn't killed by the arrow hitting him. It was just like, ow, pain. Uh-oh.
yeah,
like
that really hurt.
Yeah, even his face was, no, that's not good.
Yeah.
Oh, Dave, you and that bloody machine would be the death of me. Yeah.
This is going to suck in 3, 2, 1.
Yeah, going to be picking up pieces of me for a month. Yeah, it was great though. The visuals for that, they got the visuals for that really well done. Anytime I go, oh, that's so gross, they've done a good job.
Oh, yes.
But yeah, so we see Maggie kind of fighting her way through. She gets into a building, she's being chased by one of them, and she reunites when she kind of escapes with Negan, who's carrying the guy whose name I can never remember.
It's not Ezekiel, it's the other one. It begins with E.
You keep looking.
Elijah? Elijah, that sounds about right.
You double check while I keep going. So she reunites with them. A little side note: she's been kind of out fighting. Negan is basically helping this guy move. Negan, who of course total asshole, douche mode, hateful guy, is saving this other guy by helping him move around. So I just think as a visual for this is worth noting, worth picking out. Obviously this facility where they are is where Maggie and her people were, and there's like little hidden doors in rooms and corridors, and she uses one behind a load of shelves for them to basically hide in whilst this Reaper, who we've met a few times, and he's one of the nastiest ones.
Yeah, he's a bit of an arse. It is Elijah, you're right.
Hey, there we go. And then they basically enact a plan to fight this guy in a corridor, which, as you pointed out, was very Marvel Netflix Daredevil.
Yeah, like there's this. Yeah, like he even jumps off the wall and does a punch thing, and I'm like, wait, I swear Iron Fist did that in the Defenders.
Oh yeah, big time he did. Yeah, I've literally just rewatched it. He did. So there you go. That's another bit of intercontextuality. It's so difficult to say.
I know, right? But this Carver character, who's the Reaper, he's a bit of an arse.
Yeah, big time.
Considering there's 3 against 1.
Well, this is the interesting thing I wanted to bring up with you, because the thing I liked about this scene is Negan is a big guy. That other kid is an accomplished fighter. We've seen him take down walkers with those ice things. Maggie, we know she can hold her own in the fights. We've seen it a few times. But what this guy does is he uses his military training, because when you're in a corridor, it nullifies the numbers because they can't get around you in a way. So he fights in a way that he puts all of them ahead of him. Like the first thing he does when I think Negan gets behind him is to switch that so they're all ahead of him. So there's no way anyone can be surrounding him now, so he can't be hit on 2 sides at the same time. And then he's just fighting them one-on-one.
He takes out Elijah quite quickly by the kick to the leg. You're like, that hurt.
That would be nasty. I mean, he overpowers Maggie, who's holding her own, but he does overpower her. Did you? There was a bit where like Negan vanishes for a minute, and I'm kind of like, oh, don't do that. Don't.
He just disappears out the back. Like he's left again.
Yeah, but you see him kind of clock that fire thing, and I'm like, what's he going to do? It's like maybe there's an axe, is what I was thinking, like a fire axe. But no, he uses the sand. I thought he was going just
for the bucket itself. You're just going to swing a bucket of sand at him or something.
But is there any more Negan moment at all when he throws the sand in the guy's eyes and clocks him with the bell and goes ding ding?
I loved it. Yeah, ding ding.
Oh dear.
I think I messaged you, didn't I? Just saying ding ding.
Ding ding.
I loved it.
It was hilarious because you got to remember like the context of this character and like how long he's been around now, and Maggie's there with him, and whilst he is doing a full Negan ding ding asshole, bang. Now we have this moment then where they can kill him. And the guy wants him dead. Elijah wants him dead. He's like, no, he has to die. He killed my sister. Da, 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 da. And Maggie's going to do it. Maggie's like ready to... Basically, this guy is on the floor out. Maggie's going to kill him. Daryl intervenes. I want to ask you... I want to get your opinion on this because I'm a little bit... Daryl intervenes in this moment to stop Maggie from killing this guy.
Yep.
Go back a moment and Daryl literally kills another one. By himself, barehanded.
Yeah.
Why is it... This is... I'm kind of lost. I get what he was trying to do in the lines of, if we have a prisoner, we'll be better off. But...
I think it was the character it was. I think if it had been anyone else other than this Carver, I think he would have gone for the kill, but I think he would have known... If he wants to try and get Leah out to talk to him, he needs to have someone important, and I guess the Carver was, even though he was an arse.
He's thinking that this guy is someone. Yeah, okay. Yeah, no, it's valid. It was just kind of again like combination of scenes like, oh well, this guy doesn't matter, snap dead, because when she comes in and finds him on the floor, she's really upset that like another one of her family in air quotes is dead.
Yeah.
And that was Daryl who did that. And then Daryl's then literally saving the one who's wanted to kill Daryl from day one, has killed countless of like these people, like this Elijah's sister, like Elijah wants him dead, Maggie wants him dead, and Daryl's like, no. And I'm thinking, it's just
this one.
This has Rick only slicing Negan's throat and then telling what's his name to save him moment written
that was still strange, but
this is still like a bad idea that Maggie's not gonna like, and I think it gets proven she didn't like it. But the first scene then where I could say absolutely shocked me in this episode is to do with Father Gabriel. So Father Gabriel goes into basically what is a makeshift church in this room, and we see his equivalent, if you like, the Reaper's very own father, priest, minister, who who admits that he knew Gabriel was there in the cemetery before. I mean, you both said that. We both said, oh, the guy kind of acted a bit like he knew he was there, but didn't react to it. And he kind of says, like, I knew you were there, but God speaks to me. God told me that you weren't a threat. Da 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 da. And I'm like, okay, this is where's this going to go? This is interesting.
This is weird. Is Gabriel going to re-find the voice inside him and all this? And you're like, this is getting interesting.
But when they were getting closer to each other, I'm thinking the guy's luring Gabriel in. He's going to kill Gabriel.
Yeah.
He's going to stab him. He's going to stab him.
And I'm like, oh no. You see him very purposely put the knife away.
Yeah.
And there's that little part. He reaches his hand out and goes, come on, take my hand, come towards. And I'm thinking to myself, how quickly can this guy draw a knife?
Yeah. He's part of this military unit. He's trained. I'm like you. I'm just waiting for I'm waiting for the noise, and then we see Gabriel drop, and we're like, no, what are you doing?
I mean, Gabriel dying wouldn't be the worst thing ever.
I did not see it going the other way.
No, not at all.
I was just, what? And Gabriel does it and just like kills it, and stone cold, man. Just
I don't believe in that anymore.
No,
off.
Just wow, that was something else. That was really something else.
Yeah.
When you think about the arc Father Gabriel's been on, from being the coward who locked his church doors and let his
whole
entire
town
congregation die, so he'd be alright, to now, to doing that, I just like, wow, that was something else.
It's quite the story arc. Well, I want to say character redemption, but it's not really redemption.
No, not
it's
really.
Transformation.
No. Transformation's right. Just terrifying. Just absolutely. That was stone cold. That was something else. That was like next level. That was Rick Grimes in full-on murder Rick mode, wasn't it?
Yeah.
With a machete. You know
Red
what I mean?
Yeah. It's like,
just like... Oh, that was a red-handled machete. That was something else. That was holy hell. We then do get the scene where Daryl has gone on the radio to Leah to try and have a conflab, and she comes out with two guys flanking her, armed. He obviously has this guy knife to him. Negan, Maggie, and the very injured Elijah's there. And they're kind of going backwards and forwards until it's a bit like a negotiation where neither side want to reveal too much about, what they've got with their hand or anything. Mm-hmm. But then she gets bored, in essence, of like this conversation and calls on her sniper, who shoots a shot to show that he's there. She then completely has the upper hand. She's like, right, fine, I have a sniper, you do as I say.
Yeah.
Daryl's like, oh crap. She then basically makes a demand that no one wants to listen to, so she orders the sniper to kill Maggie. And then the sniper shoots this guy in the leg. And we're like, what the hell? And it's, call me Gabriel.
I loved it. Like, Gabriel is not a character that I have ever endeared towards.
No, I know.
And then he hooked up with Rosita, so now that guy's dead to me anyway.
Yeah, definitely.
But this scene where he just goes, call me Gabriel, you're like, oh, he has gone full badass. Okay.
That is one of the coldest badass things that has ever happened, ever.
Just blows the guy's leg out as he's about to kick Elijah. Bang! What the hell?
No, it was absolutely awesome.
Even like visually wise, just to have him up there, just kind of like, hi. It's like, oh damn! Oh, it's brilliant.
It was great. It was great. It was something stone cold about it, like I said, where his character in these, and like you see, like Negan's like, damn. Whoa, Father Gabriel, because those two had that really intense scene together like a while back now, and they've kind of had a bond ever since, haven't they? So I think Negan seeing Gabriel like this is a bit like, okay, he means it. He's deadly serious. Fair enough.
Yeah, even Negan's looking up going, damn. Okay.
So there's a kind of a deal made. The deal is that they leave. You leave, this is our place, and you keep walking, or else kind of thing. But the deal, and this for me was like, I didn't imagine Leah taking it. She takes the deal, even though it means leaving the injured guy behind. So basically, Daryl's saying, you go, and then once we've got all our stuff, we'll release him, and he'll hobble to catch up with you.
Yeah.
Because she says to him, like, I'll see you soon. But the way Maggie is talking makes it sound like in this moment that guy ain't going nowhere. Like you leave and you're leaving him to us and we're gonna kill him.
That's kind of how I took it. And then she says, "I'll see you in a minute." Soon, or something. And I'm like, have I missed something here?
Yeah, well, like Daryl's original proposal was like, you get walking, leave your weapons, and I'll let this guy go as soon as we're ready to go, sort of thing. Like, we're keeping him here as a safety, because if you double back, I'll slit his throat. Now, I think she has taken that as, okay, fine, we're going to have this same deal then. But I don't think Maggie at any point in that was... I think this guy's dead. I think this guy is gone. But because she says, I'll see you soon, and starts walking off, Elijah then gets in Maggie's head, like, no, like, for my sister, for everyone. And I'm like, oh, Maggie's going to shoot him, and then it's going to go crazy. Oh, no, she's walked past him.
Yeah.
I did not see that coming. This moment where Maggie stone cold shot people in the back as they're walking away, that was my shock. That was my, oh my God. That absolutely shocked me.
Yeah.
Daryl goes crazy, obviously.
Yeah, what the hell are you doing?
Yeah.
Whatever the guy wants. Yeah.
Basically, yeah. I mean, I think there's two aspects of it. One, just, that shocked me. Her character doing that shocked me. Yeah. Negan watching it happen.
That little smirk.
Because, so it's interesting because we then learn in the scene that comes, which we'll talk about next, how he took it. And he was and I completely understand where his point of view. But in that moment, I thought he was kind of smirking like there's my girl. Do you know what I mean? Like a kind of like, now you get it. Now you understand.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Like, it's kind of like a case of, now you understand why I've done what I've done. Yeah.
It's like you don't let people. Yeah. So I was a bit like, oh wow, this is getting dark, because there's been that thing for ages of people going, oh, Maggie and Negan romance, and I'm like, no, don't go there, don't touch that. That shouldn't ever happen. But a kind of begrudging respect, I think would work. I think that could be a kind of like.
She's never going to forgive him for what he did.
No,
but she might at least kind of understand.
Yeah.
Why it all happened. Yeah. And if Daryl hadn't been a dick, then wouldn't have died anyway, so,
Yeah, exactly. So why not shoot Daryl? Just saying. Oh, yeah, because he's got a spin-off. But it was just like such a crazy scene. So she wings Leah. Leah gets shoulder, I think.
Yes.
And the other two are killed. So Leah's still out there. And Daryl does let her go, because Daryl tracks her, knows she's there, and just like, I didn't want this to happen. This wasn't me. And she would know that. I think she'd know that was not him that did that. His reaction for a start of screaming, shouting.
Yeah.
But also, she should know him well enough that not. But I don't know. I just kind of feel like with her surviving that's not going away. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, because I was confused, because when we first see the scene, she shoots two of them in the back.
Yeah.
And Leah in the shoulder.
Yeah.
She then turns back and blows the other guy's brains out.
Yeah.
And we never saw where the second soldier went until a little bit later on.
What? The second soldier?
Because there's two guys walking away with Leah.
And she kills the two guys and Leah gets away.
She shoots them back. She shoots them both in the back. One guy we see fall to the side.
Yeah.
One guy falls further back, and she blows the brains out the guy that's laying by the steps.
Yeah.
The guy that's further along.
Yeah.
Is that not the guy we see in the house in a little bit's time?
Oh no, I thought that was quite a long way away from all of that.
Oh,
I just took that as another guy got in there and Aldrin possibly.
See, I don't know if it was just the way it was all cut or what, but I just took that as he'd gone there to hold up. I think it's one of those ones of, because we didn't see it on the screen, kind of him get finished. My brain just automatically went to, oh damn.
Oh no, well no, you could be right. I mean, don't get me wrong. I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, it could be. But I thought there was quite a distance, because she goes off for a while, doesn't she, to try and find that church again.
to find it and come back again. Yeah, no, that was just one of the things that I took. I thought that's what it was. It may not have been, like you say. It could have been someone completely different.
Yeah, well, there's enough of them kicking around at one point, but their numbers are certainly diminished now.
That's the point. And you saying that, actually, that brings me out to something else I've got in my notes here that's about the right time to talk about.
Yeah.
When they get back, there's all this talk of, where's everyone else? Where's everyone else?
Yeah.
How many people went with them? Because as far as I'm aware,
there were a lot.
I thought only 2 of them did. I thought it was only Alden and Negan that didn't go back.
No. You remember that Maggie had a group of like...
Oh, in the tunnel!
10. Yeah, in the tunnel.
Of course, it's the same group, isn't it?
Yeah, and there were a few that were Alexandrians that died as well.
That makes more sense, because when they went back and they've... Because it's been so long since we saw the journey take off.
Yeah.
They got back, where's everyone else? And I'm like, there's only
what do
2
you mean
of them,
everyone else? Yeah.
And I don't think anyone cares that much that one of them's not come back, and we certainly don't care the other one hasn't come back.
No, not even a little bit. No, so that was Maggie shooting them in the back. Really shocked. That was kind of like, oh my god, I didn't see that coming.
Mafia Maggie.
Her then going to find the Jersey Shore savior,
yeah.
and finding he's dead delighted me. I am so over that character who I feel has contributed nothing but be a pain in the ass since he arrived.
Yeah, there's never been a story arc that really kind of, considering he started off as a saviour, he got put in a cage, and then he kind of wormed his way out.
Flirting with Maggie at a time that every audience member was like, you do not flirt with the widow. You know, he was like, you do not do that. Then he ends up with the Edith, who basically everyone who's a fan of the comic book genre is like, no, she's with Carl. Carl was killed so you could have this romance? I think not.
Yeah, he's not had a good time.
No. Not a fan of his at all.
And then we had this whole thing of, we can't accept Negan, he's a saviour, and then we can't accept these other people because they're outsiders. And it's like,
I'm like,
yo,
dude,
look in the mirror.
Look at you. Look at yourself. Yeah. So he's dead and I'm happy. There you go. That's the way to look at it. He got to be a walker though, so from an actor's point of view, I bet that was fun.
I reckon that's got to be one of those things, like when you get told you're being written out, it's like, oh, please let me be a walker, please.
Yeah, come on, let me. It's funny though, because until she went back, I'd forgotten all about him.
I mean, he is that good a character.
Yeah, definitely. But anyway, so she went back, he's dead, yay. She then returns to like the campfire where she's gone and sat with Elijah, like you said, and Daryl and Gabriel sat at the fire, just basically like, what the hell? What I find a little bit interesting with that in particular is Maggie went off. Maggie met up with new people. Maggie basically formed a new group. It is pretty clear to me that Maggie's loyalty is there and not with our original group at all.
Although she's only got, 4 or 5 of them left. So her loyalty might be back with us quite quickly.
Yeah, it could rapidly change again. But
she's not the world's greatest leader if it comes to body count.
No. Well, what's interesting, of course, is how the episode ends, but we'll come to that, because I think the next thing, really, is her at the graveside after burying older Jersey Shore Walker, as he's now known.
He was Jersey Shore saviour, now he's Jersey Shore Walker.
That's him. Negan rocks up, and Negan's carrying a weapon.
Mm-hmm.
I did, for a moment, think Negan's gonna go for her. Because, again, I've got this kind of... It's the final season, you know.
See, at first I didn't. At first I was like, oh, okay, Negan's come to find her. That's pretty cool. Yeah. Okay. You wouldn't walk around on your own without a weapon, so I get that.
No, definitely not.
It was only when the conversation started.
Yeah.
And as the conversation went on, I started more and more going like you did. Oh, God, final season is about to go down.
Yeah, one of these two's not walking away from this, you know, because she was like reaching for a weapon, and I'm like, he's gonna go, she's gonna shoot him, or we're both gonna hurt each other. Something's gonna happen. Yeah. But I'm actually again a little bit kind of proud of Negan here that he throws it down and he's just like, because what he says is bang on. He's like, you shot those people in the back, having made a deal. You've said to me that you promise you're not going to kill me anymore, but clearly I can't trust you.
Yeah, I'm not going to give you a chance to back out that promise, Yeah,
and it's like, he could have, he could have done differently. He could have killed her then. Negan could have come up, are you okay? You're like, come on, let me walk you back. Bang, when
Slit
she was looking.
Yeah.
You know, he could have done that. He would have been able to. But he didn't. He made the decision that, you know, that's not no, I'll walk away. I would rather walk away and be on my own than have this constant threat hanging over me.
Yeah, and that made me quite sad. I'm quite sad at the fact that Negan's kind of going his own way.
Well,
I've really enjoyed having him as a character, especially this kind of character that is now in with the main group and basically just like winding the crap out of everyone.
Yeah, he's still hated, and yet he's kind of needed. Like, they all kind of realise, actually, we need to have him around, but it's a nightmare kind of scenario. And that tension and that friction is made for some really great scenes. So I'm like you, I'm a bit sad that he walked away. Obviously, the character's alive, like Leah is alive, and obviously, with a character like Negan, that's not it. There's no way that that's it. He is going to reappear in season 11 at some point. But what is an interesting aspect, if you like, to Leah vanishing and Negan walking away is, of course, what happens at the end now. So they return with the food. Yes. Alexandria are overjoyed. We get to see an amazing reunion between Daryl and Connie, which was really nice, where he literally drops the basket of fruit because he sees her. Loved that. That was great. And especially like they immediately go into that kind of like he signs like, oh, I was looking for you, and she's like, it just basically gives him shit straight away.
Yeah.
So we have that back. We have this kind of reunion. Everyone's kind of like, oh, and to me it's like, well, that's the end of the episode. This is the end of the episode. And then Jerry like, you all better get up here. Someone's coming.
Yeah.
And we see what me and you delightfully call the stormtroopers marching up. And then Eugene. And it's like, oh wow, this isn't... maybe that's the end. This is the end of the episode. Eugene's arrived. No, there's another scene. I'm like, what is going on here? And it's Eugene introducing this guy who's like talking about the Commonwealth and, you know... And everyone's got this face of like, and he's saying, we'll help you rebuild. We'll, you know, you've done amazingly with all these communities and we'll provide the manpower. Or I've got another option for you where, you know, you can come and live in the Commonwealth. And then 6 months later, I did not, in all the stuff I read, nowhere did I see anything about a time jump.
No.
So that caught me again. That caught me off guard again. And then Maggie is back at Hilltop. She has rebuilt Hilltop, not Alexandria. And at the gates, basically demanding to be allowed in. And she says, oh, it doesn't have to be this way. It's Daryl as a stormtrooper saying, yes, it does.
Yeah, now, this kind of... Her at Hilltop didn't surprise me. And when the stormtrooper main guy is like, look, there's 2 options for you. We can...
Yeah.
You know, you guys can stay here and we'll give you resources and help. And I'm thinking to myself, that's very kind of saviour-like.
Yeah.
If you remember what Negan was like with the kingdom.
Yeah.
You have your own place. It's fine. We'll help you, but you will give us supplies. I thought, okay, that's not going to go down well with many people.
No.
And then the other half of it was like, or you come with us and live in the Commonwealth. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't see Daryl, for example, just upping and going... Yeah,
no,
right. Do you know
Daryl isn't... No, if you're going to pick a character who'd take that deal, I'd be thinking of characters like, let's say, a Connie, because she's deaf, etc. She would be able to thrive in the security of the Commonwealth. Her sister, you know, I'm kind of like anyone with kids. You think about like Aaron with Gracie, get Gracie safe, and he'll, you know, do whatever. But to see Daryl, who's like the ultimate outsider woodsman, he went missing and lived on his own for like years after Rick went, you know?
Yeah.
To see him as the stormtrooper, I thought had amazing shock value. Like, really kind of like, oh, wow.
Yeah,
what the hell has happened? No, I liked it. I loved that. I was really kind of, it took me. It took me by surprise, and I think... The only downside is in The Walking Dead have said this a few times. I feel like they have overused flashback storytelling a lot. Mm-hmm. And now we've had this 6-month time jump, I just know we're going to be getting a lot of flashback storytelling.
Oh, God, yeah. What happened in the last 6 months? Well, we would show you, but we'd rather show you over the next 12 episodes.
Yeah, like, you know... Like, because the way I look at it, you can tell the story. Like, part A was everything building up to the Commonwealth arriving.
Yep.
Part B could be this 6 months that they've just jumped, because we're basically going to get it in flashback anyway. And then part C could be the finale, how everything comes to a head. But I'm kind of like you. There's so many questions, like so much still. These guys, we know about the CRM, the Secret Republic. Does the Commonwealth know about the CRM?
This is the big question, because obviously we've now learned from Fear the Walking stuff. We originally thought the same thing, different sides of the spectrum.
Yeah.
We've now found out obviously they're not the same. The Commonwealth and the CRM are. That's the Civic Republic. Yeah. This is the Commonwealth. So they are against each other potentially.
Well, or do they even know each other exists?
Yeah, and all of a sudden you're like, this is interesting now. Like, this is very interesting, because we know that one of them has Rick. But we know it's the Civic. That we thought it would be in The Walking Dead.
No, the CRM is where Rick is.
Yeah.
And the CRM aren't a comic book creation. Aren't in the comic books. The Commonwealth are, and that's where Rick is in the. Where Rick ends up, if you like, when Rick, he's killed in the comic books. He's killed in the Commonwealth. It's they've done it. They've definitely changed enough now that I'm hopeful that we have a different ending to how the comic books end. But also just it's very interesting now. Fear the Walking Dead, for example, has been renewed for a season 8, so they clearly have ongoing elements of this, and the
that
CRM
will continue beyond this finishing.
Beyond the Walking Dead. So but you've got to remember, with time jumps, Fear is behind all of this. So it's confusing. It is very confusing. I've been trying for a while to try and work out where they are on the timeline, because I kept thinking I'd love to see Morgan and Rick reunited at the end. Does that make sense?
Because originally Fear the Walking Dead started like years later, but it was the very beginning. And then they time jumped, and then they time jumped again, and Morgan left to go over there. And then as Morgan left, the Walking Dead time jumped.
You got it.
And then they time jumped again, and now they've time jumped again.
Yeah.
But then Fear the Walking Dead has had at least one more time jump.
Yeah.
Possibly 2.
So,
however, The World Beyond was in line with the end of season 9 of The Walking Dead.
I believe so, yeah.
But then they've had a bit of a time jump, so they're probably around season 10. So that means they're still a season behind The Walking Dead anyway.
See, I've gone cross-eyed. Yeah.
I'm so confused.
It is something I have been meaning to for a while, to sit down, properly read and work out. And when I do, I think I'll do like a TikTok video, YouTube. I'll put it out there to everyone to see. Because it is...
It's going to take you hours. You're not going to get that on a 3-minute TikTok, dude. That is going to be a YouTube. Here's 3 hours of where the hell we are in the Walking Dead universe.
And how we got here.
We think we might be here. However, having done some research, it's evident that we could actually be over here instead.
I think we could be here. I think it's probably the most accurate thing of how I could sum this up. I think
somewhere in this 3-year radius.
Here. I don't know. I genuinely don't know. Mate, have I missed anything? I feel like I've gone through this and I feel like there's something I've missed.
Let's go through. We've spoken about the fire.
Yep.
We've spoken about how Maggie went mental.
Yep.
Didn't kill Negan. He's left.
Yeah. Time jump.
The time jump. No. The Reapers, for me, I'm still confused about.
Oh, okay. Go on.
Like, the Reapers were a really cool bunch of characters with the whole military training and we're a family, and Pope was a cool character.
Yeah.
But they were only around for like 4 or 5 episodes max.
Yeah, they were basically half a season, a third of a season storyline, weren't they? Which would have been half a season normally. So yeah, they were basically a storyline.
It just seems like a very short time. Like, I'm sure Terminus was longer than that, and they were nobodies.
Yeah, no, you're right. I think, do you know what? Actually, I think Terminus again was half a season. Actually, thinking about it. Yeah, I think I'm kind of rewatching it again slowly with my daughter. So
of course,
when I get to that.
It just seems like I think because we had Negan, who was like 3 seasons, and then we had Alpha that was 2 seasons.
Yeah, I gotta be honest with you. I felt at the time, and I still feel it now, All Out War as a storyline, they stretched too far. I felt they could have had a full season of it being action packed, where people would have just been tuning in like, this is a roller coaster every week, because there's so many comic book deaths in All Out War, and there's so much stuff that happens. It literally could have been every episode you didn't know who you're going to lose. Do you know what I mean? But they stretched it right out, and I kind of felt that by the time All Out War was ending, everyone was just like, oh, is it still going on? You know? Oh, is Negan still alive? Come on.
Rick's killed him. No, he hasn't. Don't worry.
No, he hasn't. Yeah. Exactly, yeah. And they've killed off Carl. Brilliant. Yeah, great. Yeah, so he saved him because Carl died. Work of that one out.
Yes.
So it was kind of, I kind of felt like they overstretched it. I think the Whisperers, they got pretty much bang on. I think the Whisperers, time-wise, gave us enough build-up to them where it was really creepy when they didn't know. They thought, initially they thought the Walkers had evolved. That's what I wanted to talk about. Oh, thank you. Thank you for keeping me talking. I got there.
You're welcome.
The World Beyond has an after-credit scene, and in the after-credit scene we learn that there are actually different variants of the zombie virus.
Yes, you get runners.
And so the walkers we are seeing in Georgia, in Atlanta, in all these areas that we have seen so far, Texas, perhaps this is the USA as a whole, are actually different to what's happening in Europe. Mm-hmm. In Europe, they're running, screaming, smashing through. They seem to retain more of an active intelligence, more of their muscle mass, etc. when they come back. Mm-hmm. It's terrifying, actually. They look like World War Z zombies.
Yeah, they're the ones where I take myself out the day that's announced.
Yeah, you said. It's like, Walking Dead zombies, I think I got a chance. The others, nope.
Yeah, I'm out.
So, with that being said, and that being introduced, there's no way they give us that after-credit scene without any kind of... Surely that has to come up. Surely, at some point, we're going to see something that leads us to what the hell, that walker just jumped something, or that walker did this.
It's okay, we're upstairs, we've smashed the staircase, it can't... What the fuck? Yeah.
Wait a minute, there's 3 walkers building a ladder. Just like this is... Because after their experience with the Whisperers, if walkers started to do things which were odd behaviour, that would, it's a Whisperer. Oh no, it's the Whisperers again. It's this. But actually, no, it's not. It's walkers are now evolving. And oh no, what the hell? So it's got to be out. There's got to be a reason. There has to be a reason why that was shown to us in the after credits. Whether it's a tie to Rick Grimes' films, perhaps there's going to be more in it in that.
We think they took Rick on the helicopter to the CRM. They actually took him to southern Spain.
Oh yeah. Good luck getting home, Rick. But
anyway, we've been questioning why Rick didn't make it home. It's because he's in Europe.
That's why. Yeah, that's why the only stuff they found of him so far was on a boat. There we go. We've worked out.
Perfect.
Anyway, big thank you to everybody for listening. We've enjoyed going through this. I think as episodes go, getting us straight back into the story, this was excellent. New episode airs in the UK every Monday on Disney+. Episodes in the USA are still on AMC. I know they can get them a week in advance, but we're still talking about it episodically after it's aired, USA and the UK.
Yes.
We will try and keep it to Wednesdays, so it's Walking Dead Wednesdays. Coming up, there will be a small break in our usual service because you're going to be away for a little while, but I think we still got a couple of episodes with you before I've got a substitute, or at least one.
We've got 2 episodes. The 2nd and the 9th. Yep.
There we go. 2 more episodes with me and stuff, and then we've got a super sub stepping in for a couple of weeks, and then you'll be back. But as always, thank you to everybody for listening. You all take care. We'll be back soon.
That's a wrap.
Thank you for listening to the Stuff and Things podcast. We hope you enjoyed the show. You can find us on Facebook or online. Simply search the Stuff and Things podcast to join in our conversation every week.